is fastest around this very slippery, very wet track? Slow and grippy, or fast but not so grippy? So, in the slow and grippy corner, we have got the new Dacia Duster. This is completely new to the UK. Dacia is Renault's budget brand. This four-wheel drive car behind me costs £11,000. It has a 105 brake horsepower 1.6 petrol engine, and it doesn't even come with a stereo as standard. In the fast but not so grippy corner, we have another new entry to the UK road car scene, the Ginetta G40R. This one costs £30,000, 200 brake horsepower from a 2-litre Ford Duratec engine, rear-wheel drive, and absolutely no driver aids whatsoever, not even ABS, let alone power steering. It's basically a race car with a registration plate. So, let's see which one's faster around our wet track. Potentially the most ludicrous twin test ever, but I am quite intrigued to see what will be faster, because I think the Dacia might get it, you know? Having that much grip on this circuit, which is virtually like ice, makes such a difference. The Dacia is being driven by Matthew Pryor, road test editor, and he is a bit handy.
So I'm just going to have to absolutely nail every single bend if I've got any chance of keeping up whatsoever.
The Ginetta actually, whilst of course being rear-wheel drive and fairly powerful and light, but it's really not too bad in terms of grip. The Michelin tyres are quite good for it. I can see that Dacia going sideways behind me, that's crazy.
Oh, crikey. It's quite loose at the back, this car. No stability control. Oh, blimey, she's pulling away already by such an enormous amount. Try and use the traction of the four-wheel drive system to keep up.
The long left-hander, a little bit sideways, confidence brake, into the chicane, and out onto the straight.
I think what I expected is for it to get away down the straights, but for me to be able to nail it so much through the corners that I'd be able to keep up. But I'm not actually sure whether even in the corners I'm going to manage to do it. Where I'm hanging on and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for the understeer to stop. You know, Vix is already back on the gas.
Trying to keep it in a straight line, because that is actually the fastest way around this circuit. I'm losing him.
Oh, come on.
Right, going into a left-hander, which then goes into a right-hander. This can be a bit tricky. You have to balance the car properly. But the good news is that there's so much feel in this car that you know exactly when it's stepping out. This is the joy of cars with absolutely no driver aids. Nothing between you and the car but mechanics. Fantastic.
Things, but I think it does is it sort of washes into understeer, and only then will it kick power to the back. And then not enough. Right, let's take as much curb as I can. And more. You can't compete with that, surely, in a G40. Come on, I've got off-road prowess and ABS, which I can really nail into a bend. So I'll make up some stuff there.
I can see the Dacia. Absolutely. He's trying so hard.
Come on, more power, more power, more power. Drag it out on the power. Come on. It's just asking too much of it, I think. And actually, biggest surprise, possibly, it's just what a good little car the G40 is in the wet.
You have probably figured out by now that no amount of corner cutting was going to save the Dacia Duster. We're rather taken by its simple budget charms anyway, but clearly it's not intended for the track. Lapping around 6 seconds faster, the Ginetta G40R clearly is. And it proved to be just as at home and potentially even more fun than ever on our low friction wet track. Chalk this one up to a victory in the name of lightweight, rear-wheel drive and rather grippier than expected.
You know what? This car is flipping brilliant around here. Absolutely fantastic. I could do this all day long. I really could.